Hey my beautiful bitches, it's me, Fiona St. James, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Fiona's Coffee Talks. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe. And as always, I love to start off every morning with the hot, fresh, black cup of coffee. Hold the cream! I'd love to. That's so good. Coffee, of course, with a splash of Kahlua. Best way to kickstart your day, in my all-time favorite coffee mug with my quote of the century. Life is too important to be taken seriously by Oscar Wilde. Who knew? So lighten up, guys, because really, life should be fun, so laugh a little. All right, so today's topic is dating slash intimacy. So look, let's keep it real. Doesn't matter whether you're gay, straight, bisexual, male, female. Dating is not the easiest thing in the world. It's hard. So for those of you who are in a committed relationship, good for you, because you're out of the rat race that we call dating. So let me give you a little bit of my history. I was, obviously, when I was born, I always knew I was gay. I don't even know how I knew what the word was, but I just remember my first thought process being that I was attracted to men. So to me, there was never any of that coming out or, coming to terms with anything. That's just sort of who that is who I was. And I was always self-aware of that. My belief is that from a very young age, we are all sexual beings that have libidos. So it's a matter of, are you in touch with that or are you not? I always was, I always knew that I was attracted to men. I was always attracted to a very specific type of man. Usually someone, older, bigger, hot, nice body, all of that good stuff. A top, as it were. For those of you who don't know the terminology of top or bottom, a top is the one that gives, is the giver, and the bottom is the one that is the receiver in terms of penetration. Which kind of reminds me when I bought this shirt a few years back, when I saw it and I was like, oh, a catcher's mitt. And I was like, oh, I'm going to get that, because that way, to clear up any confusion, people will know that that means I'm a bottom. It wasn't until years later that someone saw me wearing the t-shirt and they were like, oh, you're into baseball. And I was like, oh, not really. And apparently this is the logo for some baseball team, St. Louis Cardinals, I think, or something like that. Anywho, so when I was in kindergarten, there was the cutest little blonde girl named Betsy. Pigtails, adorable. I remember she was even missing a tooth, because at 5 years old, half of us are anyway, your baby teeth falling out. And she and I had this cute little, romance, for lack of a better term. We were like boyfriend and girlfriend, and we would like kiss, and we even used to like make out a little bit, and we would call it our tongue exercises. And the irony was the other classmates would stand around us and like cheer us on as we were doing that, which makes me think, where the hell were the teachers when that happened? And of course, when kindergarten finished, we both went to different first grade classes, and I was a little heartbroken. Where's my Betsy? But it took me about a second to get over that, because in the first grade, my sister's fourth grade teacher, his name was Mr. Mazda, just so you get a visual feel for him. You know how when you're in grammar school, if the weather permits, during your lunchtime, your recess time, you were allowed to go out in the play yard and the schoolyard and like run and play around, play tag, do whatever you wanted. And there would always be a teacher or two that would be patrolling that hour to make sure that, we kids didn't act a fool or anything like that. So this particular man was in charge of my hour recess. And I clearly remember the first day that we were out there, and I was so enamored by him, because he was exactly what I physically was attracted to. Even at the age of 5 and 6, I knew what I liked. Beautiful mustache, dark shoulder length, brown hair, always wore these like tight pants and this camel colored leather jacket, very much like the Marlboro Man. Kind of reminded me a lot of Tom Selleck in his younger years, or the actor that played Matt Houston, I forget his name. Anywho, so that first day that we were in the schoolyard, I just walked up to him and took his hand and started walking around with him. So every day that year that the weather permitted, that we were outside while all of the kids were playing. I was standing there walking around with this teacher holding his hand, and I was in such heaven. And I knew that he knew I was attracted to him. I mean, it was so obvious that I had a crush. Even the other students knew that I was digging this man. I know he was gay. I mean, obviously, he was like in his 30s and I was all of 6, so nothing was going to happen. But, even at that point in my life, I remember thinking, oh, I would have done anything to just like kiss the man because I was that attracted to him. So case in point of the whole libido thing, I know that I'm a rare case in that regard where I just, knew what I liked and I knew what I was, and, I had these thoughts early on. So being in the Bronx, I didn't really have an outlet for many, many years to express that and to do anything with anyone. But I would spend all of my summer vacations in Ecuador, which is where my parents are from, and tons of cousins and aunts and uncles. And there was one cousin in particular that when I was 17, we spent the summer together, and he was technically the first man that I kissed. We never like went all the way, which is kind of odd. We did everything short of full-fledged sex. That didn't happen until a year later when I was 18. And I met this hot man through a friend and was out in Long Island for the weekend. And I actually write about him in my book, although I do not mention his name. I actually friends on Facebook, and I wonder if he's even aware that he's in there, because it was, a pivotal point in my life where it was the first time I went all the way with someone. And if I can be graphic here, which we all know I can be, he was quite large, if you get my drift. And but I just remember it was like, it didn't hurt. It felt great because I was so turned on and I was so wanting this man that I write in my book, it was like butter on toast. I mean, to the point that I even was like, oh my God, are you with me? And he was like, yeah, look. And I was like, oh my Lord, where'd that go? And we proceeded to have this really incredible time. So, that when you hear people say, oh, it's too big, it's been a while, oh, it hurts, or, I've never done this before. Mind over matter, I've always said. So if you really want someone and like someone and want to be with them, all of those things should not factor in. You should just enjoy it and give into it, which is what I did. So that was like my first actual experience with full-fledged sex. And, then when I was 20, started going out to Fire Island, and then definitely made up for lost time. And I've not been lucky in love, as it were. When I hear people talk about, oh, I've been with 5 different guys or girls my whole life, and they've had all of these long-term relationships. I've not. I've had these very short, intense, like 6 months to 1 year relationships where, there was the beginning, the middle, the end, and there was definitely that period of mourning when it was over. But, I've always admired people who can say that, because God knows I can't. People that could say, oh, I've been with 5 people. I need a small third world nation to raise both their hands just to have enough fingers to count the amount of guys that I've been with or without pay, frankly. So I've not been lucky in love, but I've had these wonderful experiences and great moments, and I don't think I'm losing out on anything, because that's what makes me the unique individual that I am, and I have a loving support of friends and family that make up for that. So and the intimacy is there, just maybe not as long lasting as some people. So, but yeah, so you tell me, guys, how was your first experience? Did you love it? Did you not love it? Was it, what you expected? Was it magical? Was it just like, oh, that kind of sucked, no pun intended? Or, or was it everything you wanted it to be? And, how is dating? I know dating back then was, I think it was a little easier than it is now with this whole, well, easy in the sense that at least you know what you're getting, because in the day and age of online dating, people misrepresent themselves, and that's going to be a separate video, which I'm going to do soon. But, for now, just stating in general, I'm single. Hard to believe, I know. and I'm fine with it. But, you know, in the ideal world, maybe one day I'll meet someone and, you know, fall in love and live happily ever after. And even if I don't, I will have, you know, I'll continue to meet people and have fun and enjoy myself. And that's fine too. We're not all cut out for it. So, anywho, on that note, I am going to do a second part to this, so I'm going to give a little more graphic detail, if you can imagine that. Big surprise, I know. But for now, I am going to say bye. Again, guys, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget, subscribe, Fiona's Coffee Talks, and don't forget, coffee with Kahlua every morning. All right, guys. Love you. Bye.